How y'all doing today? I am beyond, I am chomping at the bit to be here with you today. I know we're going like over an hour. It's probably, I'm allotting 90 minutes for this because I'm going to be handing you liquid gold here, ladies. So it's great to see you all here. All right, let me get to my notes. Am I recording? Yes. Okay, very good. All right. I want to start with 2 or 3 quick takeaways for this whole week experience. So I know a lot of you don't have your cameras on. I understand. You should have seen me 10 minutes ago, but that's not the point. So how about we have 1 or 2 who can't not say something right now, because this has been just the greatest experience you've had in your business. You've just been blown away. There's got to be some. Don't leave me hanging here. All right, Carolyn, what you got? Just a quick minute or two.
It's just like everything I've been hearing in all of the coaching space for the last 2 years that I've been in business, all condensed into 4 days. So instead of having to hear all of that stuff, you could just have had these 4 days and you would have gotten 2 years worth of information and been able to roll with it.
Awesome. Okay, I like that piece. And then be able to roll with it. Because remember what
Yes,
I said in the beginning, I don't want y'all to just learn and pat yourselves on the back for learning, right? We want to apply. So,
exactly.
yeah, talk about that just for a second, because you have been applying.
I absolutely have been taking every action step, applying it immediately. And that was the commitment I made here. And I'm in the sprint, which I think everybody should go get in if you aren't in breakthrough already. Um, don't just learn and then not take action, because that's where the overwhelm I have found came in for me,
Hmm.
is consuming and not pouring it back out. That it just kept building and building and building. And then if you don't pour it out, you start feeling overwhelmed by all the information. It's really because you just haven't taken action on it.
There you go.
So
You
if you
spin.
just,
Yeah.
exactly, if you just take that one piece and then apply it, that one piece and then apply it. And unlike webinars that you go to, and they're these free webinars that at the end it's an offer, but really all they've done throughout the webinar is try and sell you their offer.
Mhm.
This has given you very practical things you can go and apply immediately, and yet there's still so much more. And so the offer then is even higher level.
Hmm.
And that's when you go, okay, wow, if she's giving me all of this action as part of these 4 days, what on earth is going to be in her actual containers?
So good. So good. And yes, there is a lot I've given and a lot that y'all still need. And those of you that have worked with me, you know that. Evelyn, what you got? Thank you, Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn should be your promotions manager.
Yeah. So real quick,
Well,
Evelyn, how's this experience been for you?
oh, it's been great. It really solidified some things in my mind about where I'm missing it and where I have to go and the clarity. And I have to, put some boost in. I'm going to promote Carolyn too, because between Carolyn and you, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it.
Right. And
I mean,
Jesus is the
really.
foundation of it all, right?
So
Yeah.
you're teaching others while we're utilizing the wisdom that you're putting into others, and those people are now working with some of us.
Mhm. I
To
know. It's a
Lisa,
beautiful
sorry,
thing.
Lisa. I mean, I was with Lisa there for a while, but I'm getting my act together better.
Yeah.
So
It's so
I
good.
thank God for what we did this week. I had to really focus on getting in there, but I did,
Mhm.
and it's paying off.
Yes, Evelyn, I love it. I love seeing you, and I love you in the group. You are there. And you're like me. Like, hello, I'm low tech. Great. Then I got you, because that's totally me, low
Yeah,
tech.
yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Any other comments? I'd love to see it in the chat, but I do
I
want to.
want to I want to just say one more thing.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay. Quick. Yeah.
Lisa Figgins. awesome woman too. Okay. All of yous are, Michelle, but I got to tell you, Lissa's stuff is great. I just have to, get my act back together with that. So we'll
Fine.
be
Yeah.
back, Lissa.
Yes, love it. Love these plugs. Lissa is the on-time management expert that everybody needs to get more done. Anybody else feel super compelled to say just a quick 10 seconds? If not, we'll move on.
I have something.
Elise, good to see you. Hi.
Good to see you too. So I've been watching all the replays, so I appreciate that. But I put into action some stuff that you talked about, and I've been struggling to get on calls with people, but I sent out a text message to my whole group and I got 4 calls this week. So very excited. Yeah, no signed clients yet, but I haven't talked to them because I'm out of town. But next week, I'm sure I will. So
Elise, that is amazing. So 4 calls on 1 text?
yeah, so I sent it out in a series of several days. And yeah, so I've got 4 people that have actually signed up for a call and 4 other people I'm following up with who said they were interested.
That's
So
how it's DON, babies. That's how it's done, ladies. Way to
yeah,
go, Elise.
thank
Way
you.
to go. And I would love for you to encourage others that aren't here
Mhm.
over in the Facebook group. Hey, I've been the one lurking and watching replays, but look what I did. That's
Yeah.
amazing, really. To God be all glory. Amazing. Thank you for that. All right. So today, the whole purpose of today, I really wanted to introduce you to a new way to scale your sales. Not one to one to many. Okay, it's brand new, and I call it Easy Lift events because that's exactly what they are. As I said, it's a one to many sales experience for your people that does not require for you a weeks long promotion, right? This long email sequence to get them excited, a fancy Canva presentation or Google Doc presentation, whatever they call it, and without hours and hours of prep for you or your team. In fact, these easy lift events can happen within days. I decided to do this 2 days ago. So they can pop up like that, right? And the content you're going to see, because I'm going to take you through it in real time. You are going to be the participant in this so that you really feel it. Okay. The content, what happens inside these events, is strategically and intentionally put together to build desire for those that are participating. It literally lights a fire in their hearts to say, wow, wait a minute, this is really possible for me. I see it. Right. And so there's going to be a high percentage of those participants that are going to say, yes, I would love to work with you. Let's chat about it. Let's get it done. Some will be like, I'm in. How much is it? Where's the link? Okay. So this is not a boring webinar. This is not the typical formulaic masterclass where you check all these boxes. Okay. Easy lift events are completely different. I say it's a fresh take on the traditional one to many sales strategies of yesteryear, like the bro, follow this script kind of thing. Okay. So they're live, not on demand. Okay. They're workshop style, highly interactive. And the way they're structured allows them to do 2 things at once: nurture and sell. So it's powerful. Okay. So, how many of you want to get back more time in your schedule? Yes. These are key because of the zero prep time that's required. And each of these events lasts about an hour. And what's even better is when you get better and better at this, potentially, as I kind of alluded to earlier, you could reduce or perhaps eliminate the need for sales calls. So just imagine, picture yourself instead of you or your team spending 3, 4, 5 hours or more each week on one-to-one sales calls, like brava for at least getting those sales calls. But how about we just put on one of these easy lift events once a week and sign even more clients that way, right? That's what is possible for you in these easy lift events. Okay. So I want to just briefly emphasize what makes these a better experience, not only for you, we talked about that, but for those, your prospects, your dream clients. Okay. Number 1, they're invited. They're specially invited. So they feel singled out. You're like, hey, I want to invite you to this private training I'm having. You could even say, I'm hand selecting those that are going to be in the room. Can I save you a seat? Are you interested? So there's a special touch there on the invitation. Second, these events are very dynamic, interactive, and exciting. So right from the get-go, your people in the audience will see this is different. Like, whoa, this might be for me. And then the third thing is it's an intimate setting. It's intentionally small, the max of like 10, with the idea being everybody in the room feels seen, heard, and known. So it's that human element, the empathy that they get to sit in a room with an expert who takes the time to actually get to know each one, and someone who cares that much. And so everyone in the room has the opportunity to talk through their questions, and it's really workshopping experience. So that's what today's creme de la creme buyers are craving. Someone who actually cares, instead of someone who has a lot of bait and switch. I love you. I'm going to help you with this. And once you're inside, oh, I'm going to pass you to my team. Say, that's not what I'm about. Okay. So the creme de la creme buyers, the ones that have already decided they're ready to invest, this is the way to solidify it for them. And so I thought the best way to get you to see how powerful these events are is to have you participate in the audience as one. So I know we have a diversity of annual revenues in here, but for purposes of this example, I'm going to assume that this is for business owners that are aspiring to hit consistent 10K months, okay, to have your first six-figure year. That's the scenario. So if you're beyond this, just, pick yourself years ago when you didn't yet have those six-figure years. Okay, let's go to the Lord, and then we're going to dive in to an Easy Lift event. Lord, I am so excited. I just thank you that the way you are preparing and the way you have prepared everyone that is here right now. And I say live or on the replay, because as we've seen, there's power in the replays. Don't let any marketing guru say, oh, well, if they don't watch you live, then that means a problem. Ain't no problem. No, 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 no. Thank you, God, that we don't have to do cookie cutter business. And we don't have to do things the way the secular gurus say to do it. We're looking to you, God. We're the CEO. You are the chairman of the board. So tell us. And even in right now, like, take over, Lord. I am open to the Spirit's prompting. And may this just so bless so many women and help to literally flood their pipeline with amazing high qualified leads, and may this allow them to sign those clients consistently and predictably from this point forward. Thank you, God, for how you're moving. We love you. It's in the mighty name of Jesus that we pray. Amen and amen. Okay, we're play acting now. Let's do this thing. All right, welcome. Today we're going to walk through the specific process to get those highly qualified leads coming in daily for you. I said daily. And to have you predictably sign clients every week so that you hit consistent 10K months. And the fact that we're in summer right now and you are here, it tells me something. You're serious about your business and you're committed to succeeding at the very highest level. So I want to congratulate you, like brava, for standing strong, walking in obedience to what God has called you to. So as I said, I'm chomping at the bit to share this with you. And for those of you that don't know me, my name's Judy Weber. I'm a former trial attorney and C-suite executive, 20-year serial entrepreneur turned business coach and scaling strategist to only the best of the best, highly driven Christian women, those who not just claim Christianity, but like walk it and talk it every day, right? You walk the talk. And I've been doing this for almost 8 years. So today I'm going to be going over the macro strategy that I teach my clients, and we're going to get micro with you because I want you to know how to apply what I'll be showing you to your business. So we're going to go macro and then we're going to go micro. And so your job is to really participate as much as possible. I want you to ask questions. In fact, I'm going to move over some of my notes so that as chats come in, I can see it. Okay. I want you to ask questions in the chat as we go through. Depending on what I'm doing, I may stop, but I may not. So don't be offended. Just keep those questions and, whatever's coming in. And I'm going to be happy to stay. I got to tell you something. I could talk all day and never get a scratch in my throat. I go into one of these events and the enemy just loves to get me right here. So anybody else ever have that happen to you? That's okay. So anyway, I'm happy to stay for some Q&A. But again, keep your questions coming as we go, because I really want this to be actionable for you. So that really my prayer for you is that from this day forward, you will do things differently. You will even speak differently to yourself and others, and you will think differently about how you're going to grow and scale your business. Does that sound good? If that sounds good, pop in the chat, say, I'm ready, ready, Freddie. Let me move y'all a little bit more. Oh, Michelle says, that's why I always have hot tea going by. Yeah, oh, nearby. Yes. Okay. So the first thing is I would love to learn a little bit about you and why you're here. So pop in the chat, if you would, two things: who you serve and the transformation you provide. Who you serve and the transformation you provide. And then the third piece that I would really love, but you might want to do the first two because they're probably quick to mind. The third thing is, what are you hoping to learn? Another way to say that is, what problem are you having? What's your biggest challenge? So who you serve, what result you help your clients achieve, and what you really would love to learn today. And I'm going to wait because I need to see who's in the room so I can tailor this to you. So tell me in the chat. Who you serve, transformation. See there? God has always worked with me on the patience. Judy, you need more patience. So thank you for helping to build my patience. Okay. Carolyn says, book coach to high achieving CEO women ready to write their signature book and create a larger impact. Love it. Welcome, Carolyn. Okay, Lissa, I help Christian women business owners shift how they approach time to make it their most valuable business asset. That is hot. All right, I would love to learn how to bring in more best fit clients in less time. Excellent. You are in the right place. Welcome. All right, Elise, Christian mompreneurs with young kids. I help them create peace in their homes and businesses by setting rhythms and delegation. Ooh, I'm intrigued, especially on the delegation side. Okay, I'm curious, Elise, if it's business delegation, home delegation, or both?
Both.
Both? Okay, nice. I love it. I love it. That's so intriguing. I don't know that I've ever met somebody that addresses both of that. And that's so important. It's so practical. I love it. All right, Susan, I serve midlife professional women, and I help them crush their cravings and become the healthiest version of themselves through lasting weight loss. Today, I want to learn an effective way to scale sales. Nice. Welcome, welcome. Carolyn, I'd love to learn how to tailor my messaging so it's clear where my expertise lies so my best client is naturally attracted to me. Yes. How about instantly attracted, baby? Anybody want instant attraction? Yes. Love it. Love it. All right. Very good. Okay. So, Evelyn, transforming nurses who are ready to renew their lives and careers and follow the calling of God into and through to the top. Ooh, I like that. I like that energy. This is good. This is good. I'm blessed to have a beautiful group today. Awesome. All right. So, all right, one more. Professional Christian women fighting fatigue and brain fog, renew their energy levels and think clearer. I'd love to learn how to set up an easy lift so that I can bring in more clients with less time and energy on me. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So good. Thank you for that. So good. All right. So the first thing I want to do before we actually get into the strategy is I want to make sure we're all headed in the right direction. So I want to start with an exercise, and I call this the 4 futures. The 4 futures. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you might want to grab a piece of paper and draw along with me. And yeah, I'm going to be asking questions along the way all through. So just continue to pop your answers in the chat. Okay. So this is really looking at where you're going with your business to get clarity on the end point. Okay. So over here on the right, we have some squares. The top square is going to be the best outcome. This is the best outcome. And specifically, we're talking about 3 years down the road. Uh-oh, my thing's going to fall over here. And why I chose 3 years instead of 1 year or 10 years. If it's 1 year, I find that it feels pressure. Oh, where am I going in a year? It feels pressure. 3 years gives you enough time to, to bend and weave and say, oh yeah, in 3 years, that's solid. I will get here. And 10 years just feels like longer than 3 years feels like it's just too long and it's kind of hard to imagine. Okay. So we're going to put in this box two goals. Okay, so we're talking about our best outcome. So two goals, one being money and the other being time. So the revenue of what would be, pop in the chat, in a dream scenario, your best scenario, 3 years from now, pop in how much money you want to make per year and how many hours a week do you want to work to get there. So think about that for a second. How much money do you want to make 3 years from now? What is your revenue? And you could do per year. You could, how about we do it per month? Whatever you like to do. It's just, I'll do the math. The money you want to make and the hours you want to work. Okay, Michelle says 24 hours a week for 125 grand. Nice. Carolyn, 30K a month, working 30 hours a week. Okay, very good. How about one or two more? And there's no pressure. There's no right or wrong here either. And by the way, apologies for the sun that's coming in. I don't know how to, hope you can see that. I'll make sure you know what I'm writing on the board. Can I have one more? All right, good, good, good. 12 hours a week, 100K, and 20K a month working 20 hours. Nice. Okay. Okay. So for this scenario, I'm going to say 75K because we're talking about 3 years out. Okay. I love to talk big numbers and 20 hours. Wouldn't that be an awesome scenario? 75K working 20 hours a week. Okay. How about the next box here is, it's not the best, but it's still a good outcome. It's still a good outcome. Okay. And so, you just told me your best scenario. So in your own mind, come up with a number. What would be good? I'm saying if 75 is the best, I'm going to say I'd be good with, for someone in your situation, I'd be good with 25K and working 35 hours a week. Would you agree with me that that would be a pretty good outcome in a couple of years? 25K months are consistent, you're stabilized, and you're working 35 hours a week or less. Does that feel good? Just a couple of yeses or nos, so I know you're with me. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. Okay. Now, these two boxes down here, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time because they're lesser outcomes and we don't want to be here below this line. Okay. All right. So you can see that I drew lines here from our starting point, which is where we are right now, to each of these different outcomes. And the reason that I did this, I really love this exercise for two reasons. First, it's really important to notice that over here on the left, we can, that over here on the left, we can make some relatively small changes to our business now, and they're going to have a big impact in the future, right? There's not a whole lot of, let me get another pen. There's not that big of a gap here on any of this. Look, you're making small tweaks, and this small tweak gets you all the way to here. And then this, a little bit of another additional tweak gets you all the way up here. Do you see what I mean? So I love that because it shows you the importance of what you're doing right now to make a big impact. And then if we draw on the right, we can see, this is a big gap. And this is a super big gap, right? And the gaps just get bigger when you are farther out into the future. And it almost feels insurmountable when you are trying to fix it in the years to come. So what I love to focus on now is, again, look at the small shifts you can make now, these slight optimizations, so that you can have a much stronger, better, more impactful and profitable business going forward. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up or something if you're with me on that. This is why we're here, because it's that important to address it now, right? They say that the best day to plant a tree was like 30 years ago, but the next best day is now. So we're doing it now. Okay, awesome, awesome. Very good. All right. So one more thing before diving into the actual strategy is one of the biggest problems for business owners is, and let's just be, we're among friends here. So if you can feel free to say this is me, I'm not judging anyone, but one of the biggest problems is many are flying blind. That was me in the earlier days. You kidding? And that means like you have no idea how your business is really going. as a practical matter because you're not tracking things. Okay. So, one of the most important things we're going to be coming back to is the importance of sales. Sales is the lifeblood of your business. If you don't have sales, you have an expensive hobby, right? Not a business. So, what I do differently is imparting upon my clients the importance of having a sell everyday mindset. Pop that in. I want you to get into this idea that selling is serving. And not only get into the idea that selling is serving, so just type in sell every day, but I need you to, and I work with my clients to build a solid grounding and belief and understanding that selling is serving, that sales is noble, sales is godly, okay? And that's why we sell every day. And so tracking leads is great, and we do it, but tracking sales is key for cash flow. And let's face it, the cash flow is what allows you to get back hours in your day when you can delegate. The cash flow is what keeps the lights on, right? So it is important for you to keep track of what's going on so you can identify what's working and really lean into it and double down on it, right? And then when things aren't working, right, we can make these tweaks. We analyze, oh, boy, that whatever you did or whatever the strategy, that didn't work. I'm going to not throw up my hands and say, oh my gosh, now I got to try something completely new. Oh, no, no, no. We analyze why it didn't work. We don't just say it didn't work, like what was going on here? And then we make tweaks and we optimize what you're doing, right? So that it can work. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, it's these small tweaks. And that's only possible. This analysis can only be done when you are really looking at it instead of flying by the seat of your pants, because we see how much of a difference it makes. So this is so important, that we have this idea that clients will come. They are coming, and I'm going to sign the best of the best each and every week. Now, if that sounds amazing right now, that Judy, I know how to track. Ugh, I don't know that I know how to track. I don't know that I know what to track. Okay. So if that sounds like a pipe dream right now, let me tell you that it isn't. It's important that if you're not getting a sale on your what I call scalable offer, we're going to talk about that today, something is off. If you're not getting a sale of your scalable offer every week, something is off. Something is broken, and that's okay. It's our job as CEOs to identify what that is and fix it, right? So we as Christians, we don't operate from a place of fear. We say, no, I've got it because God's got me. He's called me to it. I am going to believe God that he's equipping me. So, the idea here is that, Judy, what happens if it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or two and I haven't had a sale? No need to panic. But it absolutely is time to take an assessment of what's going on and make changes. Okay. So here's another big thing. So many women get excited about social. And I'm always about a social media optional business. I don't want to be tied to my computer. Who else does not? Who else refuses to be tied to this computer 24/7 and specifically tied to social? Okay. So I really don't care if I get 100 likes or 2 likes. It doesn't matter. What you and I need to care about is, did I get a sale this week? And so here I'm talking about messaging and systems that drive sales, not likes or comments. Okay, I just want to pause here. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've said so far? Feel free to unmute, and if you have a question, just wanted to pause. Are we good? Okay. All right. Great. So the big question is, okay, Jude, I'm with you so far, but how do I make that happen? How do I bring sales in every week? What do I need to be doing? So that's what we're going to do next. Okay. I'm going to walk you through my system to get consistent sales, predictable sales every week. So I couldn't find my eraser. So give me a moment to erase this lovely. Take a drink of water, relax, ask a question. I really need to get an eraser. Okay. All right. I want to make sure you can read what I'm about to do here. So, okay. All right. That should be good. All right. That should be good. Okay. So grab another piece of paper. And I want you to draw a triangle on your piece of paper. This triangle is going to lay out for you what we're going to be doing here to get you to those sales every week. So in the middle of your triangle is the goal. And I want this to be revenue and time. So I want you to be individualized. This is about you and your business. So what is your goal for the next 12 months for purposes of this? Okay. It could be 10K months, 40 hours. It could be 25K months, 35 hours. Put your number. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Are you drawing with me? I am going to say, I'm going to be real conservative here, and I'm going to say 10K, 30 hours a week. Okay, are we done with that? All right. So the first thing we need to do to sign dream clients every week is you need an irresistible, scalable offer. So I'm going to put that right over here. Oh boy, I'm going to run out of room. Scalable offer. And why I say this is first is because one of the problems that I see too many women have is that they lack clarity around their offer. Or maybe they have too many offers. In particular, ladies often tell me, hey, Jude, I have one offer, but I have 3 tiers. Anybody ever do that? And they say, I want to meet people's budgets. No, no, no. That's complicated. It's confusing for you the audience. If you're confused, the audience doesn't have a prayer, right? So the problem is a lack of clarity around your offer and really not having somebody say one, not having one higher ticket offer. So here I say 3K to 10K. So again, we're talking about, well, I should use a different color so you can hear it. Or see it. So irresistible scalable offer is priced at 3 to 10K. Do you see something interesting right away? If I'm conservatively saying I want to get to 10K months, if I have the guts to put together an offer that makes a 10K investment a no-brainer for my best client, you only need 1 client a month to hit it. Okay. All right. So on this idea of an irresistible scalable offer, there are 3 ways that I help my clients fix this problem of a lack of clarity. Okay. And that is, the first thing is a clarity around your Christ identity and your mission. Okay. So Christ identity and your mission. What do you mean by that? And why does that impact my offer? Okay. You need clarity around who you are in Christ, that you need to comprehend that even if you're newer in business, you are an expert. If you're not an expert, you shouldn't be in business. And I know all of you are amazing at what you do because many of you, I've tracked you on we're connected on social. So I know. So you're an expert. And then I like to say you're an expert plus. You are God anointed, God appointed. That makes you an authority. God has authorized you to do this. So that's better than any cred behind your name, any credibility marker, right? And he's called you to a mission that's bigger than you. And so once you tap into and lean into your responsibility to believe what God said and to know that in him your success is inevitable, and when you really get in alignment with that high calling on your life, that's critical. That sets you up for success in everything else you do. Okay. Any questions? Again, I just want to keep reminding you, if you have any question or something doesn't feel right, pop it in the chat. Okay. That's the first step. Next, you need to create this offer. And my fix on that is my right offer framework. So easy. It is really just 3 decisions that you as CEO need to make. And the first decision, I think some of you may know this. What is the first decision that needs to be not just made, but committed to when it comes to creating your scalable offer? If you have any ideas, pop it in. Yes. All right. Good for you, Susan. Best client. Yes, ma'am. You've got to identify who your best client is. Who is that dream client? Okay. And then it's not just, oh, I know who it is. You have to go deep and really get to know who she is really well and what's going on in her life and everything else that bears on your expertise. What's going on with her? Now, why is that so important? Please write this down. All decisions that come in your business, they flow from knowing the best client. So the decisions you have to make around creating your scalable offer, you need your best client. But the decision around how you're going to market it flows from who your best client is. All your lead gen strategy, your visibility, your sales strategy flows from who your best client is. So you can't skip this step, this important step, okay? Decision making flows from your best client. Now, there are certain traps that you have to watch out for when it comes to curating an offer that sells, and I don't have time to get into all those today, but what I can tell you is that with my right offer framework, creating your scalable offer is foolproof. You can't make a mistake, right? So, if you have any questions around your offer, if you're like, ooh, Jude, I'd love to talk through my offer a little bit. Like, how do I don't know, I don't feel solid on my price or something like that. Let's pop it into the chat. And at the end, I do want to come back around and again, help this to really solidify for you. Time permitting, I want to talk through your offer with you. Okay. Now, one final piece that is really important to note here is proactively thinking ahead when you're putting your offer together, not only that big transformation at the end, but to identify the little milestones that your best clients are going to go through, that you will take them through, the milestones they will hit that will ensure for them that they're going in the right direction. Okay. Things are happening. And so when they achieve these smaller milestones along the way, that builds their confidence and they get small wins, small wins, small win that ultimately leads to the big win. So I'm curious, I have to say, in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your offer right now? I have to pause here. I want to get a feel for what's going on in the room here. So 10 is I'm super confident about my offer right now. And 1 is yikesers. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. I want to see where we are. Okay. So Carolyn is an 8, 1 to 10. How confident are you in your offer? Elise is a 7. Great. I love these strong numbers. Okay. 3 and Evelyn. That's okay. Yep. 7, 8. Susan, 8, 8, 8. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, so we have these 2 steps. The final step in curating a hot, in demand, irresistible offer for your people is your methodology and frameworks. Your methodology and frameworks. And if you can't read my horrendous writing, I hope that you're taking notes from what I'm saying. Okay. So what does that mean, Jude? Your methodology is the process that you take your clients through to help them get the results they want. So you're not willy-nilly. Golly, no, you're an expert. So you've got the steps, the exact steps that are going to help your clients get results. And then within those steps, you have frameworks, protocols, rubrics, right? Whatever the word you use to make those steps of your method achievable. Okay. And here's what's important. So, here, if you want to build a business, here's what you need. Okay. So, you need an offer, you need marketing that's effective and draws in the right people, and you need a sales process. I mean, that really is the simple process to get to 10K months. So I'm going to give you an idea. That's my method overall. But then within each one, there are different frameworks. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. So these methods and frameworks are your IP. I want you to write that down because we're future focused and we know that we're going to be successful. So IP means intellectual property. That means you own your method. They're valuable business assets, like valuable as in money, value, okay? That makes your business desirable and valuable for the future should you ever decide to sell, okay? We know where we're going, so we're going to get things in order from the get-go, okay? IP, intellectual property. And by the way, it's not just valuable for later should you ever decide to sell, but having the methodology and frameworks that you do are incredibly valuable now for your clients, because this IP is what increases the percentage of your clients who actually get the result you promise. Okay. You take them through these particular systems. You help them to evaluate what's going on so that they can kind of self-evaluate and see where they miss and go back and correct it. Okay. Any questions about that? I want to pause for that because that's an important point that most business coaches don't even talk about, but I work with the best of the best. And so you know where you're going. So let's get everything in order. Okay. No questions, I don't think, are coming. Does this get trademarked? Great question. You can. I do believe that when you nail the naming of your method, you should get that trademarked. And what I want to say is that it's when you know that's what you're going with. Because I know I have like 25 trademarks, either pending or that I have, and some of those names I don't even use anymore. So I went crazy with the trademark. Yes, ultimately you want to trademark. And then copywritten, copywriting, that it's so funny. I don't really know about copywriting as much, even though I'm a lawyer. Like I always say, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not behaving as your lawyer here, consultant attorney. Yeah. So the trademark average could cost like $1,500 per one. And I have an amazing resource if anybody is interested in that. Happy to share. All right. So now that we have this whole side done, I've showed you the 3 major aspects of getting your irresistible scalable offer done. I want to know if you had to grade yourself on your irresistible scalable offer right now. I want to grade it based on a stoplight kind of thing. With green is I'm awesome, I'm crushing it, I got it all done, I've got my IP in place, I know that I have everything I need, I've got the right offer and it's priced right. Okay, green is good to go. How about yellow is got some work to do. And then red is, ooh, gosh, I need some help. Tell me where you are in this side of your offer. Red, yellow, or green? Okay, between yellow and red. That's okay. And you know what? All of this is so good because you're identifying your gaps. Going back to that first drawing. Okay, great. I've identified the gap and it's only this small now. So the little tweaks you make now are going to make this big difference in the future. So that's great. Another yellow. If stoplights have lime green, that's me. Yellow to green. Ooh, nice. I'm curious, Susan, where is the yellow part coming in? Which of these 3 is the yellow part coming in? Carolyn, identifying gaps is necessary first step. Yes, awareness is the first step to fix your problems. All right, and if you haven't yet voted in. Okay, between yellow and red. Okay, cool. Oh, pricing. Okay, very interesting. Okay, like I said, at the end, we can talk through specifics. That's so good. So here's the deal. So many of my clients, when they come in, we do refine their offer. And in some cases, we need to put one together, right? Because they've only had a low ticket $500 offer, which they didn't really think all these things through. And it's no fault of theirs. They didn't know to do it. So it's no problem. No wrong answers. All right. So thank you for all of that coming into the chat. Once we have an irresistible, scalable offer, we need to move to the next section, and that is addressing the problem of inconsistent sales. And how we solve that is getting sales every week when you approach sales top of mind by installing our sanctified selling system. And that's over here. Sanctified, I have too many words, it won't fit. Sanctified selling system. Goodness gracious. My mom always said I had horrible writing. She said, gosh, when you were a lawyer, no wonder you picked the right profession there. Okay. Okay. And what do I mean by sanctified selling? Okay. I'm talking about selling without apology, selling without hesitation, selling without feeling guilty or shame. And why? How could you do that? Because again, you're grounded in the truth, right? That who you are in Christ, selling is the highest form of serving. And so when I approach selling top of mind, yeah, I'm doing godly work. So you have this sell every day mindset. Because look, you're selling your unique ideas and concepts and your method and your client results everywhere. And yesterday in the Christian CEO Millionaire event, I talked about the new standard of sales. It is sanctified selling, where you are the consummate sales pro. You're the ultimate, you're the master. And I want to just define sanctified selling for those of you that may not have been in the room. Sanctified selling is selling for a purpose, namely to fulfill God's calling on your life. So you sell every day because you've chosen to be obedient to where God's called you. Okay. So I'm curious right now. I kind of again want to get the lay of the land in the room here. When it comes to sales, your approach to sales, how healthy or how aligned with how I just described sanctified selling, like how aligned are you with that? A 10 is I got it. I'm totally bought in, mind, body, heart. Like I'm there. I am all into selling every day. That would be like 10. And 1 is like, ooh, sales. I don't know. Don't call me a salesperson. I just can't get past it. Sales seems whatever. Like I want to get a land in the room. 1 to 10. 7 for Evelyn. Okay, great. I want to see a few more. 10. Woohoo! That's it with an exclamation point. Ooh, I love my exclamation points. Okay. All right. If you didn't vote, pop it in there. All right. 3, 8. Okay, 4 days ago I was a 1, working towards 10. Atta girl. Good, good, good. Yeah. The enemy loves to keep us small, and that is a huge place of where he does it, especially when out of the mouths of people that we trust, they say, who do you think you are? How much is your offer? What? Okay. So the first piece of the sanctified selling system is your best clients only lead system. So I'm just going to put best clients only. Before we can sell, before we can sign clients, what do we need? Highly qualified leads. So to sell every week, we need an audience of people who actually want to buy from you. Now, I say best clients, and I know that gets used a lot, but here's how I define best client. And I really want you to write this down, and I want this to become how you approach all of your content and really everything that you do as you show up wherever you show up in the world. Best clients are those actively looking to fix the very problem you solve. They're actively looking for a solution, and they're serious and they're committed. They're not just looking for a solution, they are committed to finding it. And so, another synonym for best clients is empowered buyers. We're looking for buyers. Okay. It is great to have a bunch of leads. It is great to have thousands on your email list. But the point is to help people. And the only way we can really do that is by signing them as clients. So best client is an empowered buyer. Okay. And another thing to think about this is your best clients then are 2 things. Those already doing well, and they want to do even better. Okay. So it's always about who you're talking to in your content, in your copy, in your words, wherever you show up. You've got to speak to that one best client specifically and intentionally. And where I see most people slip is that they speak to the 80% of their audience who's struggling, and they're not committed to making a change, and they are not willing to spend money. And I think for us Christians, it becomes even harder because we feel like, well, I could help everybody. Well, wait, marketing 101, you have to know who you're talking to. It can't be the world. Okay. So we have to, again, think right about this. The enemy wants you to, not be committed to that one best client. And I'm going to drop a footnote here that once you have your business rocking and rolling at 10K months, and then you get to 20K months, you can get to the point where you would be able to, if you choose, to offer, scholarships if you like. But we're running a business here. And so we need to operate at a high level with the best clients. Okay. All right. Traditional marketing says, hey, cast a broad net. And then when it's a numbers game, after all, how many of you heard that? It's a numbers game. It's always the men as they pound the table. Cast a broad net Get good at drawing in lots of people, okay? And then talk to them and just convince them that your way's best. It's okay if they don't have a desire to change now. You can convince them to get that desire. Ladies, that ain't happening. That is a big waste of your time. That's like 80% of your time that is just, that's why you're overworking. That's why you're working 12 hours a day. No. Okay. Now, a lot of women tell me, hey, Jude, love you and all. This sounds great, but I can tell you right now from the way you've just described the best client, my audience doesn't have best clients in it. Right? And because you're like, I may have done things that old way you just described. And so I don't even know if I have any best clients in my audience. And I'm here to tell you, I get it. I see where you're coming from, but in love, I got to say you're wrong. You do. You absolutely have some best clients in your audience right now. And you know what? We don't need hundreds of best clients to have a great business. Right? Let's make sure that we find those that are now sitting in your audience. And how do we do that? We have to find the words to activate them to move. And I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But this is what I'm talking about. You have to be very intentional about speaking only to your best client. Okay? That, and I get into more details. Maybe if you have questions at the end, I'm happy to go through it. But that's the first thing. So once you have your mind fixed on your best client, the next thing you need is a leveraged lead gen system. Somebody say leveraged. Leveraged lead gen. Okay. This is one to many. So in my world, I teach my clients 2 marketing tracks. How many? 2 marketing tracks. And this is not being everywhere and doing everything, including being on all the socials and desperately trying to keep up with the trends and trying to please a finicky algorithm. No. I don't bow to anything but Jesus Christ. Anybody got an amen on that with me? Okay. So my 2 marketing tracks, they're strategic and they're streamlined. The first track is what we just talked about on the best clients only lead system. So that you're like, what are you talking about, Jude? That's a one to many thing when I put things out in social or when I go on podcasts or wherever you're showing up. True. However, the best clients only leads track is a one-to-one track because then when they raise their hand, you're having one-to-one conversation with them. Okay. And by the way I teach it, you can spend 20 to 60 minutes a day on those specific actions of one-to-one and get some great traction. Okay, that's the first track, one-to-one. The second track is this leverage lead gen, which is actually a visibility strategy to get you in front of hundreds of those empowered buyers at one time. And so you spend 30 minutes showing your authority and expertise and having some super fun while doing it. And then that one 30-minute activity works 24/7 to get you found by the right people who are drawn to you. They're intrigued by you. They're impressed by you. And I'm going to tell you what that is in just a second. And so they come into your world without you lifting a finger, right? This is powerful. Stay with me. This is what allows it puts those empowered buyers. You're doing something for 30 minutes. You are showing up so powerfully and dropping some powerful mic drop moments so that these empowered buyers see you and they get into your world. You're putting out a call to action, and I'll go through that in just a second. And they are so like into you that they can't help but say, yes, please. I want that freebie. I want that something. Okay. So they come into your pipeline and into your high converting sales machine that's automated and actually allows you to sign clients, in some cases, even without a sales call. Wave at me if that sounds good. Yes, please. Okay. So you may be wondering, wow, Jude, love it. What's the vehicle for getting that type of visibility? Well, if you're in my world, you already know. Podcast guesting, baby. Podcast guesting. Okay. This is the most fire marketing strategy out there right now. You blow them away with the interview so that after that 30-minute interview, your people leave pre-sold on you. And here's the juice of this. Why podcast guesting? Well, because for the most part, you get a twofer. Most podcasts are both audio and video. And so they're on all the podcast platforms plus YouTube. What does that mean? Well, it means it's never been easier to get you found by your people. No more chasing leads. Write that down. I no longer chase leads. That is not what experts and authorities and category of one leaders do. Okay. So again, we're CEOs, got appointed, and here's your job. It is never to chase leads. It is to get in front of your people. Get yourself where they are so that they can find you. And I will tell you, there is no faster, simpler, easier way and more fun than podcast guesting. And I teach my clients my ultimate podcast guesting protocol. That's my step by step to identify the right podcast to pitch, how to pitch, what to say, right? How to follow up on pitches. And then once you get booked, how to prepare to nail every interview, how to stay engaged during the interview when the enemy's whispering stuff at you, right? I mean, I've done hundreds of these, and I just was interviewed yesterday on a top show, and I can tell you the enemy was coming hard at me. How do we deal with that in the moment? I help you, right? And then finally, how do you repurpose your interview? And here we're talking about monetizing every interview you do. So this leveraged lead gen strategy is huge. Any questions about that? Pop it in the chat. All right, I'm going to speed myself up. The third piece of this is authority-driven messaging. Authority-driven messaging. Okay. This is messaging that compels your best clients to move. It compels them to take action. Whether that's download a free resource, book a call, whatever it is, your words trigger action on their part. So key to working this working is carving out your corner of the market, right? Earlier, I talked about your category of one. Those aren't just words. I want you to identify, and I help my clients to identify your corner of the market. This is the space that you create. This is your corner of the market that you own. So it's what makes you not only better, but makes you different, like completely different. So you don't just stand out, you stand alone. Okay. I hate being alone, but in marketing, I love standing alone. Okay. That means zero competitors. Nobody can touch me. And nobody can touch you. So if that feels big for you right now, you're like, wait, what? I can define my own category? Yes, I got you. You do have a competitive edge. Even if you're newer to business, again, you're an expert. God appointed you to this. And I love helping my clients find that edge, right? The edge that you own. That's your corner. Now, I'm glad Evelyn says I absolutely had that edge. Amen. That's right. With decades of experience and all the cred you got, no doubt you got it. Now, another big part of this is knowing the messaging frameworks that draw out those empowered best clients. And I got you there too. So again, we're talking about messaging. And then finally, another piece of this is knowing the rubric to evaluate what you say so that you can look at your content and say, oh, okay, does it have this, and this, what I call my 4 Ps? This, if it does, then I know it's going to stop the scroll. So I'm talking about disruptive content that establishes you as a thought leader, an industry icon, so that when your people, your dream clients find you, they know instantly, she's different. I think she's the one. Okay. Now, this is very important because your messaging needs to attract the right leads in the right way so that you get sales. I want to keep emphasizing this because leads are great, but the ultimate goal is signing clients so that every time you open your mouth, you are doing it in a very strategic way. Because I want you to understand something. Do you know that marketing is sales? We know that sales is sales. And do you know client delivery is sales? We're always selling them to the next thing, right? If you're working with clients, they're not going to get results if they don't follow your process. So you have to remind them of that. You have to sell them on that. Does this make sense? All right. Thank you. Thank you. It is time to grade yourself here. Okay. Grade yourself red, right? Do you have a best clients only system? Do you have a fully dialed in, leveraged one-to-many lead gen system? And do you have your messaging dialed in? So red, help me, not at all. Yellow, kind of, sort of. Green, I'm good. Thank you for confirming that. Where are you? Red, yellow, or green? Tell me. Okay, yellow. I want to see a few more come in. And be honest. And again, if you're all reds here, it's not a worry, right? Because again, you're identifying kind of, ooh, I think I see my gap here. Yellow, another yellow. Okay, I need one more and then I'll move on. Okay, red on best clients and messaging, yellow on leverage. Ooh, love it. Okay, I love the specificity there. That is a CEO evaluating mind. So brava, Elise, that's excellent. All right. So once you have your irresistible scalable offer and you've installed your sanctified selling system, then we get to the foundation. That's why I saved this for the bottom. Okay. The thing that makes everything work and the thing that actually produces truly miraculous results is your faith. So here I like to say scale with your faith-fueled CEO mindset. Okay? It is foundational. So, what are the 3 parts of this? What I found is that in the earlier stage of business here, most women are holding themselves back. They're wavering in their faith. They have beliefs that don't really align with who they are in Christ. And as a result, they have a lot of uncertainty. But the good news is it's completely fixable when you have this faith-fueled CEO mindset. Okay, so the first piece of this foundational element to your first 6-figure year is, I think I want to get another pen. It is surrender. Really, Jude? That's a business strategy? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Surrendering control, surrendering your business to the Lord. You are the CEO, but the Lord God Almighty is chairman of the board. He calls the shots. It's his business. So I always want to kind of point to Moses. When God called him and told him what he was going to do, what did he say? He fought back and forth. No, God, I think you made a mistake. Did you really mean to choose me? And God got mad, right? When I first read that, I'm like, oh, I never want to disappoint him. I don't get mad at me, right? But Moses said, can I really do this? But here's the deal. No, not in your own strength. But look what Moses accomplished when he took the pressure off himself and trusted God and believed what he said. Moses doubted whether he was equipped. Maybe sometimes you waver on whether you were really chosen or God made a mistake, right? But what did God say to Moses? It's the same thing he says to you and me. I will equip you. I didn't make a mistake. Obey me, do as I say, and do it my way. This is bigger than you, but with me, says the Lord, you will do it. Surrender is ginormous. Next is God math. God math. So good. And there's 2 elements here, money and time. Here's my little clock. Okay. Money. The secular world talks about quantum leaps, exponential growth, 10x with 2x or whatever, right? But guess what? That's how God operates. And 10x, how about 100x, right? God always goes big. He does the miraculous. And by the way, when we talk about quantum physics, God designed it. So we don't need to trust some secular expert on what that means, right? So that's the God math when it comes to the dollars. There is no limit. And then the time, I'm curious, how many of you feel behind, like there's never enough hours in a day, right? Probably all of us at some point of the week, right? But what if you trusted that there was plenty of time to do everything you need to do? Need being the imperative word there, right? Because you're doing things right now in love. I have to tell you, I bet you dollars to donuts that you're doing things that don't move the needle. It may feel productive, like consuming content, like working on your website, like playing around in Canva, but it's really not doing anything to grow your business. So when it comes to God math on the time, how about streamlining what you're doing to simplify and lean into that 20% that's actually accomplishing something, moving your business forward? Okay. So we do things God's way so that 8 hours a day, even 5 or 6 hours a day, or even just 4 days a week is plenty. 4-day weeks is what I want you all to have. There's no need for more. So I'm curious, tell me yes or no. How many of you would love to work just 5 hours a day and have 3-day weekends? And still, whatever number you put here, that's what happens. Yeah. Right? Absolutely. And then the final piece of this faith-fueled CEO mindset is the foundation of everything is playing small is a sin. Playing small is a sin. And because of time, I'm not going to get into this too deep, but the fact of the matter is, women that come to work with me, they already know that they're destined for big things because they have a track record of amazing accomplishments. and some great cred in their prior careers, in school. They've accomplished things. But even they, when they transition from this powerful career into entrepreneurship, they feel a little bit like, ooh, I don't know. Can I really be that bold? Can I really put myself out there? Right. And so, one of the key things is someone coming into my world, you have to flip that. You have to be wanting to flip that and say, you know what? Bold is my birthright. That is in my DNA, my Jesus blood DNA, right? And so I need to stop playing small, because it's not me being kind and me being humble. No, playing small is a sin. Period. The end. And all we have to do to confirm that is parable of the talents. Don't trust what I say. Look at the Bible and read it for yourself. So if you're in a place right now where maybe you've been in business for months or maybe even a couple of years and you feel like you're not getting traction, I can, as much as a human can guarantee, this is huge. It's time to surrender the insecurities and maybe some trauma in the past, and really, I love to kind of do this, the blinders on, like horse blinders, so that you're looking straight ahead. And sometimes even with loved ones in your world or in your own house, you have to go la 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 la, not listening. I can't. You're holding me back. Can't let that happen. Okay. So real quick, green, yellow, or red, where are you in this solid Christ centric, again, grounded in your Christ identity, foundation for your business? Where are you? Because one of the big things we do in all my containers is it's not just about business strategy. Okay. You deepen your relationship with Christ. You spend more time with him. You want to spend more time with him, and things begin to feel lighter and less pressure, because you're operating supernaturally from a place of calm, confidence, and certainty because of who you are in him. Okay. Red, yellow, or green? Tell me. All right. That's one of my only greens. Okay. Very, very good. Well, that's so good though. Okay. So I'm going to flip that around. That is a green. Woohoo! Because there are many that might not have any greens. So let's celebrate every green. Let's celebrate every yellow, and let's celebrate even the red, because now we've become aware. That is so important. Okay, so good. Elise I love how you're like using each one. Okay, I love it. Green. Okay, lots of greens here. That's that. There you go. This is the key. If you're ready to go big, let's go. All right, so we're gonna do Q&A in a second, but if everything we went over, I would love to know, what was your favorite piece? Like, what stuck out to you as the biggest aha? And what gets you the most excited to go out and apply? Tell me in the chat. Maybe of all these 9 things, I hope you can read your notes. You probably can't read mine. What of all of it was the biggest? So Evelyn says, I've learned by now green is the only successful way. Well, and even the little steps to get there. Yes, ma'am. Okay, trust and obey. There is no other way. Ooh, love it. Okay, Terry, stronger messaging. Yes. Elise, my best clients are only people committed to making a change. Yes. And when we speak to them, not worry about bringing up to that level others. When we speak directly to them, we're going to call them out. This is so important. That's so good. All right. Well, I want to spend some time now talking about your business, how to incorporate these things into your business. So, if you have a question up in the chat, I'm just thinking, how about we do this? If you have a question that you would like to talk about, would you raise your virtual hand, and we'll take as many questions as we can? Okay. Okay, we'll start with Terry. Terry said she has a question. Otherwise, ladies, please raise your little virtual hand. If you hover over the dashboard, it'll pop up and you will see a little sweet hand. All right, Terry, let's start with you, hon. Good to see you. Ooh.
Well, let me, okay, okay, I had to get off my iPhone there.
Okay.
I have it on because I am in and out, because it's Saturday. Anyway, okay, here's my question. I'm really convinced that it's the stronger messaging that I need. That's what my gut is saying, because I am attracting all the women who just like they're excited about my $97 offer I put out.
Mm.
But that's not the whole program. They're not going to get total transformation. And that's what I really want for them. So my big ticket item is just sitting over here collecting dust. So I mean, I see that I really need, and just like Carolyn said, and Judy, you've said this before, it's no surprise to you. I've got to get better at that empowered buyer. She's the one who's juggling the business and the home. She's the professional. Um, and she might love Jesus, but she may not be following him the right way because she's so busy. And
Yep.
so she's not pouring, she's not inhaling and exhaling him onto her kids,
Yeah.
and her heart is breaking about it.
So, you know, it sounds like you know how to fix it. So what's your question specifically? Or was that just an observation that you wanted to?
What was that? I missed it.
No, you said you had a question here in the chat, but that sounds like you know where you need to go to make that messaging activate them, the right people to move. So, what specifically is your question?
Here's my question. Having said all that, you've seen my things on social. Do you have anything that flies right up on top of mine that it's like, you're not just like, you might say, you're just not specifically saying CEO mom or whatever. Is that what you see, or is there anything else?
Okay, I can't. I love my answer, so get ready. I am on social as little as I can. So I can't speak authoritatively about what you're doing in your content, but here's what I've decided to do even this week inside the Millionaire event. And that is, for my clients, I will be doing regular audits. I'm going to be doing social audits, right? I want to be doing some email audits because that's so important. And what I've decided to do is that I want to do it, maybe some of it like on demand, but others of it posted in the paid Facebook group. And I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to talk you through as I rewrite it,
Okay.
because I think that is going to help you to see how I think. And after you watch some with yours and maybe with some of the others, that's going to be the best thing. But what I can say now, Terry, is when you picture, and ladies, this is key. When my coach told me this years ago, it helped me to understand it in a way that I didn't before. When I say this best client, I want you to think of your absolute best client. One person, not a group of people even. Okay. But one person. Now, hear me, because already I'm thinking to myself, I anticipate your questions. And Terry will say, well, maybe my best client owns her own business and maybe another best client is in corporate. That's fine, but one at a time. I want you to think of one person when we write this content. I want you to so speak to her. And when you picture one person, even more than just a group of people, for me and for many others, they've said, that's the unlock. I'm speaking to her, exactly what she needs to hear. And because here's the deal, I just want to say this. If someone's not your optimal person, sometimes they aspire to be so much that they rise up. Like if you talk to someone who's in corporate, but she's a stay-at-home mom, but she's got that drive and she's like, oh man, if she would be so triggered in the most beautiful way, Terry, by the way you talk about your type of client, she might reach out to you, likely would, and say, hey, Terry, I actually don't work right now. Could I work? And then you get to determine whether or not she's qualified. But we talk to one person. Does that
Yeah,
make
I know
sense,
you're
Terry?
right. I know it makes perfect sense. And I've gone through a framework and everything. And I've got, actually, you're gonna know, but because I'm saying I'm not attracting that right person, I've got two frameworks of my ideal client that I go by. And one works out in the corporate world, but one stays home, but she still does do work from home.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm leaning what I've done, because I'm seeing through this, that what I've done is, even though I try to use those, I've reverted. I've gone backwards because of the people who reach out, and
Yeah.
I fall into that.
I would never say stay at home. For you, Terry, I wouldn't say it. And I would speak to the fact that she's autonomous. Because even when I stayed home, when I left the practice of law, and on my primary job, my full-time job, 24/7 was with my kids, oh, I was autonomous, baby. And so if somebody says I cater to stay-at-homes, I never identified as a stay-at-home. So I just want you to understand that type of person, you will say you are a corporate powerhouse, because even though I wasn't working at the time, I darn well consider myself a corporate powerhouse. So I wanted to just lean into you, lean into that, to let you kind of chew on that I would never, ever say stay at home. I just wouldn't. Now you get to do what you think, but I would never do it.
No, I think you're right. And one more thing, I know we've got to move on. One more thing is, as we're talking about this, I love that you keep stressing autonomous and that empowered buyer, because even at the $97, women are like, oh, I promised my husband I won't buy anything else. I'll have to ask him, for the ones who haven't said yes.
It's ridiculous.
So, yeah.
$97.
Yeah.
When's the last time your husband asked you to do something? But I don't want to go down like on that soapbox road, because those of you that know me know how I feel about that. All right. Very, very good. Love that question. And I hope that was helpful for others that are in the room. How would you say, instead of saying stay at home, just what I said, Evelyn, I would be talking to, you are that corporate professional powerhouse. You are autonomous. You, you are in, I don't know about control your own life, but you're speaking to that echelon of person. Stay at home ain't it.
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am. What you
One
got?
time the Lord led me to give, well, I'm not bragging or anything, of course. I'm just telling you, $1,000 to a ministry.
Hmm.
And I was like, what? Oh, Lord, I have to ask Jan, right?
Mhm.
I kept going through this because I really didn't feel like giving $1,000. I'm like, well, look what I got. Come on.
Yeah.
And these, we're talking about these people who have a lot of money coming into their ministry, but it was specific. He never told me to do that before. Even though people go, if you're sending 1,000, if you're sending,
Oh, okay.
no, it
I
wasn't
hear you.
anything like that. But it
Yeah.
came into my head. I was like, oh my gosh. And I needed money. So anyway, I was like, it took me 3 weeks to do it. And this is why, because I kept telling the Lord, well, I have to talk to Jan about it. This is in the beginning of our marriage. We weren't even married a year. And so the Lord said to me, finally, after like 3 weeks, he finally got through to me. He goes, you don't ask the Lord, you don't ask him about a lot of things you do. You don't ask him about how much should I give here or there. You don't even ask him, why are you oh, and it made me realize
Mm.
that's like a crock. I
Excuse.
wouldn't have
It's an
even asked.
excuse. It's an excuse. I mean,
It was a big excuse, and I gave it. And guess what happened? The very next day,
God
my
bless you.
husband's mother, just out of on a whim, gave us $10,000.
Oh my gosh. That's so fun. Yeah. I mean, look, you do you, everybody. But when I made my $75,000 investment in coaching a couple years ago, I did not talk about it with Stu, and I didn't sleep for 3 weeks. So when I finally did, and I picked him up off the floor, but I said, hun, I'm going to make this work, and it's going to be my account. Cause again, if y'all don't have a business checking account, I don't even know what you're doing. You're subjecting all of you that you own to danger. So anyway, so tell him, but he's not the ultimate decision maker. You are. God is, and you're going to follow what he says. So there's that. Excellent. Thanks for sharing that story, Evelyn. And guys, I do have something at the end, so do not leave. Okay, we're going to have one more question, and then we're going to wrap up, because I do value your time. Eugenia, what you got?
Good afternoon. Sorry, I cannot open the microphone because I'm pumping. Oh,
Oh, no worries.
sorry, the video. But my
You
question
like
is,
that?
so this time my best client, we are very clear on her being an entrepreneur ready to take action in her positioning. She has more awareness of this marketing terminology versus someone who's more of a newbie, and I have to speak in more plain terms. And I've been taking the daily actions, but my current people are not her. So I know that the main strategy would be based on what you said, to do podcast guesting. So that's going to be my focus, especially starting next week. But I'm wondering if there's anything else in those 4 daily actions that I can be taking to make sure that I can sell that offer within the next week.
Yeah. Okay. This is so good. Again, if anybody says, I don't have my best client in my audience, how about you choose to believe that there are even just a handful there? Can we just believe that? Number one. Number two, let's be consistent in the content that we do put out there outside of podcast guesting, that it absolutely speaks to our new best client, because there will be, when we flex and we come to know who that best client really is, there is a period of transition for the people to like understand, like, oh, now she's doing this, now she's serving this person, not whatever. So we need to be as strong in the beginning of this decision of best client only that we will be, a year from now. We just have to really go all in. And key to that is speaking to the issues that they care about. And I'm going to give an example. Okay. A higher level, those of you that serve business owners, a higher level business owner, okay, those that are at 6 and multi 6 figures and 7 and 8, okay, one of the two big things, team. I mean, it's primary. We want to delegate more and better. And so if you are trying to, I don't like trying. Thank you for catching that, Jude. If you are committed to speaking to your true best client, who is not a newbie, somebody who has established businesses, team is an issue that they care about, and that will perk their ear. Secondly is cash flow. No matter how much money you make, if you have lots of expenses, a lot of established successful businesses have cash flow issues. The third thing related that I might suggest is CEO pay. There are so many 7-figure CEOs that she's not even bringing in 6 figures to herself. I know it. I'm in rooms with them. That was me. So those 3 things. So Eugenia, when you're talking about established businesses, remember that: team, cash flow, CEO pay. Think about those things. That's what she cares about, among others. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
And would you say that in terms of what the offer is included, or more in a way of I see you type of content, like relatable content?
Yeah. So that that's more like in the content that you put out there, that's more experiential. Like, yes, I see you, I know what you're grappling with. It's more like that. But even how can you, as you, whatever piece of content, how can you make sure that the way you're speaking and the issues that may even be between the lines are those kinds of champagne problems, more established business problems? Not are you struggling, are you sick and tired of whatever? That's just so low. I want you to think about, I see you. You've accomplished this. You've done this. You're heading in this direction, so that you're already talking to the person who's done some things, right? So hope that was helpful.
Okay, yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is creating that, and what you said at the end, believing that my best client is watching that, because I think that's my biggest holdup is when I see my analytics, I reach 98% of current followers and I get discouraged. So I need to shift that mindset when I create.
And okay, I'll throw this at her too, Eugenia. This is so good. What is one nugget, one mic drop nugget that you could put out there? One in many different versions. One could be just an ism of yours, like a major thing you believe, like me, playing small is a sin. If you ever see anybody say it, I'm the first. I know it because God gave it to me. I'm the first one that said faith fueled. I should have trademarked it, doggone it. But listen, it's okay. But can you take one ism and make it in some powerful, beautiful graphic? Then how about we talk about it for a 60-second reel? Then how about we weave it out and make a carousel from it and really lean hard on your uniqueness, your different approaches. And so when you do that and it goes more viral because it is something that people like say, what? Like it's disruptive, and what did she just say? Then that's when the algorithm, as much as I don't bow to it, but I smartly use it, that is when these new people will come to, and they'll save it and they'll share it, and you know what I mean? So less is more on content in the way of Is there a time to go longer in your captions? Yes. But some of the most effective content is short, concise, to the point, and it's like, wow, amazing.
Okay, perfect. And my first thought was stop spending money on masterminds to fix your business. You need to be positioned first.
Love it. There you go. Stop investing in masterminds. Look inside and identify your awesomeness, and let's position you that way. Let's position you as the expert you want to be. Something else, like you aspire to be an expert. You already are, girl. How about you like show up like that? Like all of that. You already are that amazing thought leader. Let me help you to position yourself that way and put yourself out there and see how your business turns around. It's going to do a heck of a lot more than investing 20 grand in a mastermind.
Yes.
Going around in circles again. And,
Amazing.
another last thing, I once I go, I just can't stop. So that'll be a thing of like positioning. Positioning is, key to get the leads. Positioning is key to get the sales. So they're in masterminds to learn the latest and greatest lead strategy or the latest and greatest sales script. But hang on a second. You're like, that won't do a darn thing if your positioning's not done, if your positioning hasn't been nailed. So there's lots of different things there. Okay. All right. If anybody has a hot question that you wanted to get to, that's great. I just want to end with something before we maybe take another question or two and wrap up. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. It means so much that you've invested this time with me. And if you would like to explore, because again, guys, coming out of the role play for a second, this is how you wrap up your Easy Lift events. Okay. If you want to explore what it would be like to possibly work together, go ahead and drop your phone number in the chat. You can send me a private DM if you want to keep it personal, but do that. And then I'm going to be in touch to have a conversation. And if you know me by now and we spent this time together, no pressure. I do not convince. This is an opportunity to see if you're qualified to come into my world as a client and if we're a fit. So pop your phone number in the chat now. So I do want you to know, Carolyn alluded to this, right now, we're about to start the sprint to 10K. This is something brand new. It is an 8-week, highly interactive, high touch, done with you experience where you're going to install everything we just went over into your business in just 8 weeks. Oh yeah, we are moving fast. It's fast action, beautifully productive, messy action. I take messy action all the time, right? It's perfectly imperfect. And this is how you're going to sign clients along the way. We're not going to wait to sign clients at week 8 when you're done. We're going to do it from day 1. So no overthinking, no overworking. You're going to learn how to think strategically as you put these all important systems in place. So your lead gen produces results and you sign clients every week. So after this round coming up that starts tomorrow, or rather Monday, your investment at least is going to be $2,500. $2,500. But you can take advantage of special pricing now because it's the first time I'm doing it and get into the sprint now for just $777 pay in full. $777 for 8 weeks with me doing this. Okay. And there is a payment plan. So if that sounds exciting to you, feel free to type sprint in the chat along with your phone number, and I will text you later today and we'll have a conversation. Maybe via text, maybe on the phone, right? About whether the sprint could be your next best step. Okay, so go over in the chat if that is you, or you can always send me an email, judy@judyweber.co. But like I said, we start on Monday, so time is of the essence. And I'm so super excited to work with those who know that now is the time to set up your business to win. Susan, if you're on the fence, go for it. Working with Judy is so worth it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Okay, I do have time for one last question. If anybody is chomping at the bit to unmute, ask away. I'm wondering, Elise, it looks like you might be. Or Alyssa. No? Okay, Alyssa, nobody? Are we good? Okay. Well, I would love to know in the Facebook group, your homework for today, your action item for the day is I would love your impression, good, bad, and otherwise, about this Easy Lift event that you just experienced. I want to know what you thought about it. Again, good, bad. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. Okay, tell me, number 1. And then number 2, I would love to kind of understand, is this something that you would love to implement? Because you saw how it's done. It's really not that hard. It really isn't hard. And it is so much fun. So I'm curious, are you interested in doing this instead of putting together a webinar and taking weeks to do it, or putting together a masterclass? You're laying out your methodology in a fun way that's highly interactive. Okay. Well, that's cool. Eugenia, if anyone's still considering it, let me tell you, Judy, you will always feel like you got the longer end of the stick. Oh, she just adds value 10x of what you pay. Thank you for that, Eugenia. All right. All right. If there are no more questions, I will let you be to your Saturday. Make it a beautiful day in Jesus Christ, our Lord. And I'll be sending this replay out. I can't wait to see your posts in the group. Mwah. Love y'all. God bless.